Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Asteroid Fight Club. I am your planetary defense commander, Star-Lord New Thor 7, the T. And tonight we have Nostradamus Theater live for you. I'd like to start off by thanking Susan and Lynn and all of Asteroid Fight Club for being amazing. And I would like to thank Andalia, the angel, for this kick-ass bandana I'm wearing to help protect myself. And if you don't mind, for a minute or two, since I'm a little early, I'm going to say, hey, y'all, while we wait for a few people to get here. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to break down Nostradamus and his prophecies. Now, I am a Norse Jedi Christian. I'm going to get rid of that if you don't mind. How's that? I got a bandana, y'all. And so, there were two events, because when the virus broke out in January, at very first, for about a week, I did not take it seriously. I have made a video where I didn't take it that seriously. Two things happened. One night, I found myself reading Nostradamus. And then, Zero Hedge got banned off of Twitter. And then, I just had a feeling. And so, since then, I have treated this like a bioweapon that got out of the lab, or a small, tiny particle escaped some type of particle collider, and something that we manifested with our constant negativity over the last 5 to 10 years. Because as another prophet, Albert Pike, had said in the end of the age, they were going to unleash the nihilists. And oh, let me tell you, he hit that one on the head. And so, somehow, no matter what, we got a situation on our hands. And one of the things that has guided me clearly over the last month to give y'all good information has been, I read all of Nostradamus' presages, okay? Where he does quatrains, does, what is it, 12 centuries? And in the middle of his quatrains, he does a thing called presages. And in the presage, he gives a year. This is 1960 or 1565. Though the year doesn't matter. And then he gives like a breakdown for the year and then the months of every month. So it gives you specific months to look at. All right. And so I read through all the presages looking for any words like plague or pestilence. And I read all the years, and there was only one year that stuck out to me as what might be the year we're going in. And so I went all in on that. And looking back on my work for February, I did a great, fantastic job as Thor of Thor News to provide you guys good information. And so he writes it in like French, Italian, Spanish, Latin. I don't know, his own language is his own language. And so what I'm going to start now is kind of just breaking down someone else's interpretation. We're going to start on the said year. 100 times worse this year than the year past. Even for the greatest ones of the realm and of the church. You know, there are a lot of different churches out there, man. And some don't tell you that there are churches. Infinite evils, death, exile, ruin, broken. The great female to death to be. Plague, wounds, and log. Although one thing I thought was interesting in his actual writing, what they call log, he writes out as Bille, which would be Billy, like Billie Eilish, who won a Grammy. The awards are garbage. Uh, and got the James Bond theme. I don't know. Anywho, so we're going to January. And in January, snow, rust, rain, and great plagues. So, boom. So, there was some snow. There was definitely some rust. There's definitely some rain and great plagues. So, in January, he's like, hey guys, great plagues. And another thing that I'd steered y'all towards, thanks to the astrology community on YouTube and the Leo King, was the whole Saturn Pluto conjunction in Capricorn. That's a big deal, man. And so I have been warning all year, and Leo King had been warning for 7 years that the Pluto Saturn conjunction was going to be a big deal. And so that's about when the virus popped its head up. All right, so we're in January. For the great ones, joy, pestilence, sleeplessness, seeds, grains plentiful, and more bands. They will prepare themselves, hostility unallayed. And so you can interpret it however you want to, but I would think that, a lot of the people in power or the richest of the rich are like, hey, we've kind of been preparing for something like this for a while, in case shit hit the fan. And so we are in good shape as super rich and powerful people. We're as good shape as anybody. So we'll make it through this, no problem. And personally, knowing that I've been giving out advice to the top and the bottom and everybody in between, they seemed way too cocky, man. And they've made some very questionable choices. So now we're in February. Among the great ones, great discord to arise. And yeah, dude, what that means great nations, great people, great groups, great gangs, great cults, great churches. We've had a lot of discord. We had a lot of discord in February. The tall cleric will plot a great event. All right, so we even got another great event coming on. New sects to place in hatred and discord. Every group and gang is upset with everybody. War and change to injure all people. Mentally and spiritually, that sounds like an accurate description in February. Remember, he has the plague starting off in January, and he doesn't mention it in February. And then we get to secret conspiracy, perilous change, factions to conspire secretly. And so, the great ones who have been rocked back on their heels a bit are now planning on how to work it out when it all calms down. This is my interpretation. You can find Nostradamus Presage 1565, interpret it yourself. But, and that might be a reason, smoking if you got him, why our government has done an F- job. Where the whole time that like we are of all the people that have tested anyone, we have done the worst. We have tested the least amount of people. And the whole time that same government was like, hey man, we're doing great. We're doing great, bro. We're doing so great. We're super prepared. Everything's as great as we could ever wish for. And I've said it reminded me of Attack from Mars. When the alien's like, we will not hurt you. We are your friends. Mars has it out for humans. I think it's because of our women. But who knows, man? All right. So in March we have secret conspiracy. And I've said I think 85% chance it's an uncontrolled virus, 10% chance it's a controlled virus, 5% chance the whole thing is a great hoax. But you would literally have to have a billion people working together or somehow in on it. So that's why I don't think so. Rains, great winds, plagues for the proud ones. That could be like us. That could be like Egypt. That could be like Iran. And I'm only calling out people who've been really shady with giving people their numbers. Turkey supposedly doesn't have anybody. Russia supposedly has two. And if it is a controlled virus, then at this point, speculating about who's doing it would be very dangerous if you were very accurate. So we'll cross that bridge if we have to. Right now, like I said, I think there's a list, and I'm not making fun of anyone, but there is now a list of Republicans who a week ago were like, it's a hoax, the media made it up. Then you fast forward a week, and those same people are now in self-quarantine. What the heck? Technical difficulties. If I get it, me being a smoker greatens the chances that I could meet to death and not survive. All right, what's he talking about? Oh yeah, so some of the same people were like, dude, you ain't got to worry about this shit. Or now like, I might have it and I'm worried. And they're still holding fucking political rallies, man. I've been telling them to stop since February 10th. We're now at almost March 10th. The last time I checked the chart, it was like we have over 700 Americans positive. And that is kind of only testing the people who are coming in throwing up white paste. All right. So, rains, great winds, plagues for proud ones, rivers to overflow, pestiferous actions. Pestiferous actions. Okay. And so that's March. We're a third of the way through. We have not seen the great rains here yet. We have not seen on a river flooding problem. We're at like level 2 of level 5 so far. But, you know, at Thor News, on the weather stuff, we always watch for a lot of crazy wind during the Eris conjunction. Or what is the other one called? I forget. But anytime the 2 Eris points of the year, and it's in April this year, last time was October. And so definitely, I think the end of March is going to be windy. And April is going to be a suit, like whatever this month is going to be, April and May are going to be crazier. Because not only did we have this virus breaking out, but we have the oil war between Russia and Saudi Arabia. The point I made last night, which was a good point during my drunken parade, was that there was a point in 2017 where you had USA, Russia, Saudi Arabia, North Korea all talking about peace. And it was like peace, and they're handing off soccer balls. And the MSB in Saudi Arabia was talking about building new cities of the future. That seemed like a very positive place to me. Fast forward to 2020, and I still don't know what happened. But I highly recommend everybody work together in your teams, because I think, especially with Saturn and Jupiter coming, there is a great alignment in karma, where we're getting fast and damn near instant karma coming now as things are happening. And so I think good calls will be rewarded. And if people try to pull shit that they tried to get away with in 2017, it is going to fail on them almost instantly. And so, definitely, if we watched, it's like central banks act first, and then corporations act, and then governments act. And that's how it goes. And so today, the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, has now asked all their employees to work from home. If I had to bet, I think at some point Trump is going to overcorrect his actions. And so they're going to call lockdowns on city. I think Houston's on that list as we get farther in testing. They just asked all of Italy to shut down and not travel. So I've been telling everybody to get ready at some point whenever universe is going to give you a vacation at your house. So now we're going into April. Plagues to multiply. All right. So as we watch the chart going up, and no matter what, no, and I don't trust any government numbers, just using our Puerto Rican multiplier of 60 as opposed to 3,000 or 5,000, that the numbers could be anywhere near 25 times what they're telling us. So instead of 100,000 people infected, we now have 2.5 million. Instead of 4,000 dead, we have 100,000 dead. And that if governments have been aligned in their belief that they do not want people to panic, and I agree, panic doesn't help anyone, but a decent amount of fear keeps you alive. You know, it's okay to feel fear like 3 to 5% of the time. And so we're in April. Plagues to multiply. And so there is going to be a point where it continues to spread, and the problems that we've had 8 weeks to foresee have to be solved at that minute. And I've seen places starting to step up on taking care of first responders and healthcare workers better, where they have whole places sectioned off in their hospital where if you think you are dealing with the coronavirus, that you go there. And so that way, no one who is not infected will be put in danger, or like having a long hallway, the whole thing, you know, going into a secure area with it all sanitized. Like we have to put our list first, like the first responders and the healthcare workers. They are at the top of the hierarchy right now. And then we have to watch power, water, and a food chain. Like at some point, you have to continue to be able to get food to people. You have to be able to keep everyone's electricity on. You have to have not be sending out like sheriffs to evict people at a time where you have a national pandemic going on. And so that this is, even our president called this a big test. And so this is the big test of Earth and how we respond once we realize we've got a serious situation going on. Now, the majority of people have been addicted to politics for 6 to 10 years. Politics is pretty much fucking garbage, man. It isn't worth a hill of beans. And so once everybody gets through their political withdrawal, because you have real life staring you in the face and something that will affect not only you, the people you come in contact with, your friends, your family. They say your pets. At this point, I don't know about that. But I think through March, more people are going to wake up. This full moon, it leads us right into Mercury going from station to direct, which will help people's communication skills greatly. I wouldn't be surprised to see our own government do a 180 on how seriously they take this. Though I don't know, man, like that gets, even on all the levels of how creepy this is, all the people that have been affected. We've seen that it has hit French governments hard. We've seen that it has hit Iran's government hard. I don't know where this is going to go and who it's going to get, but I know that not many of our politicians have treated this very seriously or taken, like if I was a planetary defense commander or a thing that was payrolled by the United States of American government, and I was hand of the king for the president and all of the politicians, there is no fucking way we would be doing any like outside of the 23rd, the minute that virus broke out. If it's my job to keep all these people alive and everybody safe, then it seems like, you know, I don't know, whoever was doing that job didn't, no disrespect, didn't do a very good job, man. Because we should have been taking this very seriously, showing that we're taking this very seriously since at least January 30th, if not the minute that it broke out. And focusing our resources on how we can help China, and B, studying every part of it. And I would just like to say hello to Alyssa and Nick. All right, so we're in March. We're going back. Secret conspiracy, perilous change, factions to conspire secretly, rain, great winds, plagues for proud ones, rivers to overflow, pestiferous actions. All right, so now we're in April again, plagues to multiply. And so the information from March that I use to tell everybody, hey, this is going to be in the United States, in America, in March, and it's going to be a problem. I used that one passage in there to help me figure out how to deal with it. And it worked well, in my opinion. And so now, April, plague to multiply. So this is not like by this, we're at the tip of the iceberg, buddy. And we have seen them closing down everywhere around us. And it is best to believe at some point they're going to ask you to stay home for a month to 3 months. Yeah, it's going to be weird. And another weird thing is, though I've been single for the last 3 years, apparently when you make people have to stay home for a month, they've seen in China when they started opening stuff up again, place that got hit hardest was people filing for divorce. And then during April, you got you got Venus going retrograde, bro. Like that, and you combine Venus going retrograde with near the Eris alignment, and you think Mercury retrogrades are rough. Without not trying to disrespect anyone, it's kind of like Venus retrograde puts a bit of PMS in the air for everybody. So everybody gets a little post-menstrual cycling or post-menstrual syndrome. I don't even know. You can't tell those jokes, can I? They're not funny. All right. So yeah, dude, we got the plague here, and it's gonna multiply. We're gonna have river flooding and wind problems. That goes for the United States. That goes probably for England and Europe. A lot of places. Oh yeah, I hadn't got to sentence number 2 yet. The sex to fight each other. SECTS. So that during this whole thing, there are going to be battles for power as little power vacuums show themselves. There's definitely going to be like on the top of the bat, you know how like at the top of the bat where you put your hand game? There's definitely going to be top of the bat games going on at that time. And so I'm doing what I can, because prophecy is for damage mitigation. I'm doing what I can to help calm shit down, figure out how to get out of this. Because if we would have just all teamed up in 2019 or 2017 or 2018, none of this shit would have happened. All right, so we got sex fighting each other, plagues multiplying, times moderated, winter little return, which means I think spring or winter's over. Of mass in meeting house grievously to debate. I don't know what that means. Of mass in meeting house grievously to debate. I don't know, maybe that means we'll still be debating on if you can hold concerts and political events in April. I think we'll be wrapping that shit up shortly. Rivers to overflow, evils and mortals all around. All right, I'm gonna speed through. May, people in debates and quarrels over trivia. Hell, that sounds like the last 6 years. And over women and deceased great war. Now, let me tell you a thing. Speaking of Venus and women and beautiful women, that beautiful women, sexy women, it is a power. It is a force of nature, and that it has been turned against men and people who desire beautiful, sexy women. They've turned the desire against us. We're like me being a male single. Like I'm like, wow, that woman is. Oh my God! The second I saw her, I saw like a zillion futures, and unfortunately, she was naked in half of them. But it all happened in 1 second. The first time I saw her, I'm sorry, Lord. Anywho, so there's gonna be some weird female karma shit coming down the pipe, and that's why I highly recommend men and women working together. Putting aside of all our bullshit, he said, she said, fights. Because there's a lot of weird women death shit, like, and over But women are definitely going to be like these warring sects, sects. A lot of times like great battles have been fought over women throughout history. 1,000 ships were launched. And so at a time that I know, I guess men can do it too, but like where women can think it's cute to keep like 4 or 5 guys dangling from a string. Selena Gomez wrote a song about it, about how awesome it is to have like 20 guys. They're all chasing after you. But we need those 20 super alpha males who are powerful amongst the world to be focused on that which is real. So all I'm saying is that, like, beautiful women of the world, you're going to have a lot of say in where the end of this year ends up. And I haven't been your Jedi Master for 7 years for nothing. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. All right, we're in May. People in debates and quarrels over trivia and over women and deceased great war. Is that Afghanistan? Is that Iran? Is that Iraq? Is that World War II? Is that World War One? And remember, the whole world decided to go to war against each other in 1914, or maybe it was just Germany. And then for that, we got rewarded with a plague. Negativity breeds really nasty shit, y'all. Death of a great female to celebrate the king's evil. More great ladies expelled from the land. And so in May, which is this during the Venus retrograde, there are going to be women issues and women problems for women. Don't worry though, I'm getting to hope. In widowhood, as many males as females. So in April, a lot of people died. I think we're going to see peak numbers, death numbers in April. But who knows, maybe it's June. The life of great monarchs to be in danger. The life of great monarchs to be in danger. Technically, talking about me being part of that, I've been in great danger for a long time. Asterisk, who knows? We're all kings and queens, man. But I'm definitely saying that I think this is an uncontrolled event and that no one is safe right now. It's very Game of Thronesy. I've been very Jon Snowy saying, yo, rally the realms, man. Winter is coming. And well, winter is here and spreading. And I don't think there are any vaccines. And I don't think there are any solutions. And I think there's a heavy karma element involved. And so I think staying positive helps you fight it. Staying cool helps you fight it. Emitting any type of art and love helps you fight it. And I think that hate and negativity will draw it close. But we'll have to wait till the year's over in the event to find out if I was true. All right, so June, in widowhood, as many males as females. The life of great monarchs to be in danger. Plague, steel, famine, food problems, great peril, pell-mell. Troubles through changes. Little great ones to incite. All right, now we are getting to July, which is 3.5 months away. 117 days. Hail, rust, rains, and great plagues. To preserve women, they will be the cause of the noise. Death of several plagues. Steel, famine through hatreds. The sky will be seen, which is to say that it will light up again. All right, so this is what I'm looking forward here. I could be wrong, and this is just something to get us 117 days into the future. Hopefully the sun will come out of this deep solar minimum. Solar maximum will kick in. And that in July, the death of several plagues. And that, so in July is when we will, like, it will have peaked, and that is when we can take a breath. Okay? So that's how I'm looking at it. That he got January pretty right. And then February, he got pretty right. And I used his guidance, Nostradamus. because he was a Christian too, on March, and March seems pretty fucking accurate. But there's definitely a lot of weird stuff going down. And as I always talk about, there's 7 billion people, billion families, 195 countries. You got like thousands of corporations. You got X amount of old money, X amount of new money. That people like to think that like one man or one group is fully in control, but it has been my belief that since 2015, every group has been in disarray and has some type of schism on some type of level. And so free will is big at play here. And the virus itself is like almost like a destiny event that we manifested by keeping rock and roll chained in a cell and selling divide and conquer negativity for 20 fucking straight years. It's like the Y2K virus. Took 20 years to get here. I guess they were downloading it on an old AOL connection. Man, virus jokes are tough. But as your planetary defense commander, I'm here fighting for y'all, trying to save every life, whether you be 99 or 9 months old. And I would just much rather convert uncool people to cool people than have uncool people die. That's the way it is. And yeah, every like 2 months, there's like 10 minutes where I'm like, ugh, I wish my enemies were gone. The rest of the time, I'm like, man, love wins. And someday love is going to rule. So, this is just a guideline, a guidepost, Nostradamus. But I definitely think if you watch how this virus has broken out, how countries have reacted, how our country has reacted, I would count on our government overcorrecting their F performance. And the worst part of it is to think that that may have been a strategy to like let it just run through America once and get it over with. I mean, they're estimating there's anywhere from like 3 to an uncounted number of strains. So we still don't know much about it. And I see the numbers change all the time as far as how long does it stay on surfaces. Like I went to Walgreens earlier tonight wearing this and had gloves, and still when I like left Walgreens, like I thought of how I know you're fighting like an invisible microcosm, that it's a strange battle, man. You know? And so we could definitely do better. We have maximum room for maximum improvement. So God bless everyone. Stay cool. Thank you to Jesus Christ for giving me the strength throughout all this, and to God, who's the one that created everything, the divine architect. The Holy Spirit, which is like the Force, weaves in and out of everything. It's like the Matrix. Then definitely thank you to all my Viking ancestors and my family for making me this tough, because having to talk to y'all about this all the time and having to focus on it all the time. I've pretty much been at work nonstop since the middle of December. And so I'm very grateful to all the cool people out there, all the cool people in the world. And I still believe that through all this shitty shit, my original prediction was it's going to pretty much suck for the first 9 months. And then it's going to start getting better. And so, yes, December 21st, that weekend, even that week, when we see Jupiter and Saturn in the sky together, I'd like us all to have a party. Rock and roll. Good times. And once again, thank you to all the cool people out there. I love y'all. And we are in for the fight of our lives. But this is why I trained y'all. And I'd like to think I do a great job. So it's all going to work out. God bless everyone. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out.